Okay, so we have our initial engineering site here, and we have our engineering portfolio. We're in Google Sites. Okay, so let's just go ahead and review how we get there. So it's not on our regular Google menu. So if we go to google.com and we search sites, okay, so we get to this Google Sites, and then you should have a list of all your sites. If you just click on, wow, I have a misspelling there, obviously. I'm going to click on the gear. I'm going to click Manage Site. I'm going to correct my misspelling. A good way to avoid misspellings is to just paste everything into a Word document or to a Google Doc, and that way you'll get your spelling will be corrected, and then actually any text you put on your website you copy and you paste that in. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to be using Google Drive this time, so you're going to go ahead and click on the Apps section. You're going to right-click on Google Drive and click Open a New Tab. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead in Google Drive. I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it the same name as the site. Okay, so in this case, you might have different portfolios for different things. So in general, you go from general to specific. So we're going to have portfolio engineering. Okay, because that's kind of the name of my site. I'll know what it means when I get in here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a section to this engineering portfolio that's going to be kind of an introductory section. Alright, so this is where if somebody comes here, this is how they're going to get to know you. Alright, but you want to be careful here. So this portfolio is supposed to be, any portfolio is supposed to be highlighting your work. Okay, so but you don't want to have nothing about yourself. So you want to kind of balance it between, you want to put your best foot forward. On the other hand, you don't want to make it kind of an all about me site. This isn't, it's not a Facebook profile, right? So it's an engineering portfolio, right, or a portfolio for whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and we are going to make this home page. Actually, we're going to make it an introduction. Okay, so I'm gonna click on Edit. Okay, and I'm going to change the name from Home to Introduction. Okay, so we're going to change it to Introduction. We're going to click Save. Okay, so notice that when I change the name, the title of the page, the title here changes. Now, on my first landing page, I don't necessarily want to see that title. Okay, so let's say that I don't want the title to show up here. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this, okay, so in this first page, I don't necessarily want the introduction to show up as the title of the page because I want to put my name there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead down to on the gears. I'm going to click Page Settings. So Page Settings allows me to make a couple of choices here. So one of them is Show Page Title and click Save. So now when you get to this page, it's not going to show that introduction there, or the page title. So let's go ahead and edit it. Alright, so it still shows me the page title when I'm editing. I want to go ahead and put my name. So in this case, my name is going to be we need to make it a realistic name. Okay, so let's make it okay, so we're going to call Thomas Payne. It's going to be my name. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and make that bold there. Okay, we're going to hit Enter. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and upload a picture of myself, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click Insert. We're going to click Image, and we're going to click Upload Images. Now, I've already downloaded an image here, so I'm going to go ahead and click where I've downloaded this image. Where do I download the image to? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to click Open. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. Alright, now the interesting thing about this here is that the image, you can make it go, so you can make text wrap around it, or you can make it not wrap. So we're going to turn wrapping on, okay, and we're actually going to align it to the right. Alright, so now what happens is that image is outside of the wrap of the text, so the text won't be affected by the image, it will just kind of wrap right around it. Alright, so in this paragraph for your introduction, it's an introductory paragraph. So basically what you're going to write in here is kind of an introduction of yourself, right? It kind of is similar to a college introduction essay. You can talk about personal stuff, you should talk about your interest in engineering. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple of subsections, alright? So first thing, we're going to make our name kind of bigger. We're going to keep it bold, but make it a little bit larger. We're going to hit enter. And we're going to talk about, we're going to make two subsections. So we're going to talk about whatever our portfolio is about, in this case engineering. Okay, and this is going to be where you would talk about, hey, you know, I'm into this. You know, if it's for engineering, if it was another type of portfolio, you'd put another name, right? So we're going to say engineering interests, and then we're going to have a section for personal interests. Okay, so you definitely want to make the two distinct and separate. So if I'm into, if I'm into showing, professional dog grooming, I would go to personal interests. If I love to surf, that's personal interests. If I have design stuff in my spare time, or I'm in a club or something like that, that's going to go in engineering interests. So you want to make a clear delineation between the two. Okay, now notice that my picture has been kind of pushed down here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and drag that back up. Notice where the cursor is landing. Okay, so if I go ahead and put it on this line here, I might go ahead and have to, so I'm going to turn wrap back on. I'm going to put it out to the right. Alright, there's another trick here. When you press enter in any kind of web editor, in general it means it's going to create a paragraph tag. If you press Control or Shift enter, it's going to make a line break. So in general, you want to use Shift enter when possible. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just format the text here. We're going to make this a little bit smaller, right? We're going to put it down at 12 point. Actually, we can make our name a little bigger. We're going to put it at 18 point. And we want to kind of follow this through for the rest of, this introduction page is going to be a little bit different. Notice how introduction here and Thomas Paine here is a little bit different. Okay, that's because introduction is in black, Thomas Paine is in gray, so we want to actually change that. And that's because when we go from page to page, we want the look of our titles to be the same. So if we ever take the title off, the automatic title off a page, and make our own, we want to make that 18-point black text. And this could change based upon your theme. So you just want to make that top text match the other page titles. Okay, so you are going to write your engineering interests and personal interests. I am going to paste in some dummy text. Okay, and to do that, whenever you're designing, we have this stuff called it's usually called Lorem Ipsum text, and what this is meant is it's just filler text. So when you're creating a website, you can say, this is kind of tradition that you just paste this stuff in. I basically searched on Google for Lorem Ipsum text. I even misspelled it. You can just put dummy text, right? And I clicked on this dummy text generator. Okay, and basically there's lots of different versions of this. Lorem Ipsum is the most common. Okay, and basically you just select enough of it to fill the area that you're using. So I would go ahead and click copy. All right, now here's some place that I want to be careful. Okay, you never want to copy and paste directly into your website. All right, it can cause all kinds of problems, because basically what you can do is you can copy and paste the formatting of the thing you're copying. So in this case, it's probably okay to copy it in a text box, but we're not going to take any chances. All right. Now there are a couple ways to do this. You can paste it into a plain text document using Notepad in Windows, or something else in another operating system, or we can just open up the, or we can edit the actual HTML of the site. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, so on this page, we're going to click on the HTML button. Okay, and you can do whichever you feel more comfortable. I'll show you both ways. Okay, so to paste it into the HTML, basically, we're going to find that engineering interests right here. Okay, and notice that it's already added in a lot of stuff that we really don't need. All right, and I'm not going to do anything right now, but you want to go outside of this. See how this engineering interest is inside of this div tag right here? You want to go outside of the div and then paste it in. Okay, click update, and you'll see it appear on the screen. Okay, and notice that the purpose of this text is to show us, see how we see the text flow around this picture? Okay, so the purpose of this Lorem Ipsum text is to show us how this text, when we actually type it in, is going to flow. All right, so it's not a bad idea when you're just doing the design work. You're not actually making content to go ahead and paste in Lorem Ipsum text. All right, now that I have that in there, let me just show you the other way that you can do it if you're not comfortable with HTML. We can right-click on the desktop, go to New, go to Text Document. We can double-click that text document, click Notepad, paste in whatever text we want, and then we can select All and Copy. We can just paste this right back into our document. Okay, so now we're sure we're just placing it in plain text, and that allows us to not paste in any weird formatting that might cause issues. Notice that it stayed the same text formatting as the personal interests. Okay. All right, now the rule for text on a website is that you want to match it to everything else, okay? So you don't want a bunch of mixed sizes and mixed fonts and mixed colors. You want the text to be very, you're going for readability, right? So notice that I'm using 12-point font, okay? And I'm not changing the size. So it's 12-point font here, 12-point font there, okay? So basically on this first page, you're making a lot of important decisions, even though they might not seem important, right? So you're choosing that all your subheadings on your entire site are going to look exactly like this. Okay, so you don't want to come back and change them later. So you want to make a choice now. You're going to make it 12-point, bold. You're going to leave the default color, which is dark gray. Okay, and you're going to use the same exact font settings down here. Okay, it's the little things that matter in web design. And being consistent across all your pages is going to give a nice look and feel to your website. So let's go ahead and click Save. Alright, so this is what we have. So when we get to this page, we're going to see Engineering Portfolio at the top, right? And we're going to see Introduction and Site Map. Okay? Alright, so we're going to see Engineering Interests, Portfolio, Personal Interests at the bottom. Alright? In fact, let's go ahead and change this. Sometimes you have to see something to understand really what you need to make changes here. The interests part of this, okay, is redundant, all right? So if we just called this engineering and personal, it would be cleaner. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and take off the engineering, okay, and click Save. Okay, so we are always keeping our audience in mind. Our audience is people that have come here to look at your engineering work. They're interested in your personality, to a degree, but primarily they're here to see your engineering work. Okay.